We are talking today with head wrestling coach Leo Kocher. Now, Coach, after a rough start to the season, what kind of improvement have you seen from the team?
Well, we started out, we wrestled Northwestern University, the Big Ten team, and Stevens Tech, which I think they've been in the top 20, ranked all the way along, and it kind of went as expected. Was dependent on 4 freshmen out of the 10 starters to be in a lineup. They're talented guys, but they're freshmen starting out. But I felt we kept our heads into it. Sometimes in some of these dual meets, because of injuries or illness, we maybe didn't have our top lineup. But the one thing that our guys did do is constantly keep their head in it. They always improved in practice, and even a lot of the individual losses by our young people were very competitive matches. So they could sense they were getting better, and that's what you do. That's what you do when you kind of got an inexperienced team is you keep their heads in it, and of course it's quite likely that they'll improve a lot when they see they do. You stay positive that way. So being an individual sport, we don't stress too much actual competitive results as far as wins and losses, because like all individual sports, it's how you finish that matters. So
now, freshman Charlie Banaszak leads the Maroons in victories this year and has produced very consistent results. What factors have been key to his success in his debut season?
Well, I think first of all, he's a talented wrestler. He was a state champion out of Maryland, the big school division, and he also, he finished 8th at the high school nationals, at the juniors high school nationals in Virginia Beach his junior year. And 8th might not sound too impressive, but you've got to beat some pretty good people to place in that tournament, even the top 8. The thing I've noticed about Charlie, though, is extremely positive. Always positive, always thinking that he's going to win, always thinking that, he gets out there and he battles. He gets at everything he's got, and even when he takes a loss, as he told me once before, he says, "I've wiped it away." He doesn't let it bother him, and he moves ahead. I really am pleased that he's not only been very coachable, he listens, and he's put in quite a bit of stuff we teach to his benefit, but also he's just a very positive outlook. He expects to win, and that really it plays huge in a person's success, especially a freshman.
Most recently, your team wrestled at the Wheaton College Pete Wilson Invite, which featured 32 teams and some of the top wrestlers in the country. Does that invite serve as a good measuring stick for your team, and what kind of benefits do they get from it?
Well, I think that, first of all, it is the toughest tournament in Division III. I've told people that I had a wrestler take 3rd in that tournament, and then a month later take 2nd in the nation. I had another wrestler take 4th in that tournament and take 2nd in the nation. Both those guys didn't have a real strong tournament, but at the Wheaton, but they did peak for the nationals. So it's a very tough tournament. Even this year, 25 wrestlers out of 10 weight classes were ranked at top 10 in the country, and there was a lot of additional talent in there. There was probably 70-some wrestlers ranked top 25 in Division III. So it does 2 things. First of all, it lets them know the caliber of nationally competitive wrestlers, and also lets them know how close they are. We had some wrestlers, even the ones that took a loss, battled and realized, and I hope it raises their expectations. So it puts them in a very competitive environment, and against talented people, nationally competitive people, and like I said, I think it raises their expectations when they see how they can wrestle with these guys and stay with them. So I like the Wilson.
What other athletes for you have had particularly good results so far this year?
Well, I'm kind of pretty happy with some of these guys, the way they've come along, the upperclassmen and the freshmen. Jacob Smith, he's been a yeoman. He's never been able to break into a starting lineup. Finally, his senior year here, he has, but he's just been a dedicated person. Again, extremely coachable, really absorbs the technique, and he's put together a pretty nice season considering that this is his first year of starting. So I've been pleased with him. Jeff Tyburski, our heavyweight, another senior. Again, you just like to see these guys put things together a little bit by their senior year. You know, you don't want them going the other way, and both those guys have risen and are having a good strong season for their senior year and are competing well in comparison to the other years. I actually, you know, I think we got a lot of talented people. I think we got a lot of talented freshmen. That besides Charlie, Paul Papaseats did not place in state in Illinois, but beaten state placers. Really has come along. Mike McNulty, a guy who did not even get downstate, but very competitive, has won some close type matches for us. So I'm pretty happy with our freshmen. I'm looking forward, you know, I mean, 1 year at a time. I realize that, but I'm really looking forward to the next year because these freshmen are just picking up the technique exceptionally well, probably the best I've ever seen, and I think they're going to advance. They're advancing now, and I think they're going to advance even more in next year, and I'm looking forward to it.
What are your goals and expectations for your team for the rest of the season in the last few weeks?
Well, you know, the dual meets, again, I don't get too worked up about them except when we get to our conference championship. We have a dual meet format for our conference championship. We've won it a number of times, probably about 2/3 of the time we've won the conference championship, and that's when I want to have everything put together, and I want to put our best dual meet team on the mat. It kind of looks like, you know, our best is going to be not as good because of some injuries. I don't know if we're going to get some people back or not in time, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to go fly out to New York, and we're going to put them out there, and you just never give up. You never know, and I think that we'll be competitive. It's always competitive. We're always close, and a lot of times we come out ahead. But you know, that's why we're going out there to see. But anyway, I'd like to win the UAAs, and then you know, 2 weeks later we have our national qualifier. Again, very competitive. They only send 3 out per weight class, and what we're going to do is see how many people we can get to the national tournament.